Yes, I can see Manuel, I can see Ezekiel, I can see Hillary Wambui, I can see, guys, most of us are part youth, so my youth, tokeni, we have this conversation, Pia, let's have this conversation. Just introduce yourself and then we'll get it from there. Okay, thank you very much for that. So Pia, when you are mic on, kindly you can mute if you're not speaking. So we have the conversation. Now, I would actually want you to make this session a very interactive session. In case umefika point uko na swali, you can actually ask. We have professionals here wenye watakuwa wanatuambia a lot about our launch day, and we will also be getting a lot of education and know a lot of things vipya some of the things in hatujui tutalearn hapa, and we will actually be having a great time here. So I'll get this back to Madam President so that she can proceed from here.
Awesome. Thank you, Lewa. And like you have said, really looking forward to the engagement today. And shortly, I'm going to share, to invite the initial team that will be the chairs, the co-chair, the chair and the co-chair of the AUCCW platform, so that they can welcome us officially. So we have Dr. Nathaniel Yutman from Akofi, and then we have Dr. Dunda Ezekiel from KU. So I will move on so that they can officially welcome us to this seating, and then we can move on to have them invite the guest speaker. So I think I will begin by inviting Dr. Nathaniel Yutman. Dr. Nathan Yutman, karibu sana.
Joining. We are looking forward to sharing an exciting program. Sharing you can come in and make this dream a reality. We are here for the AUCCW 2026 virtual launch. That is the African Universities and Communities Climate Week. And we will have more details about what is happening, when it is happening, and where it is happening, and how you can plug in as we continue. And so, I can see the Dr. available. Here, from him. Say hello. Shortly thereafter, not being done by Dr. Ramali from KU. Dr. Dunda. Just checking in case you are here. Want to welcome you.
All right. Yeah, I think Dr. Dunda was running late, so as we wait, whenever Dr. Dunda gets here, we will have him say hello. And I think I also Dr. Yutman, you weren't very, very clear. So maybe as we get ready for our keynote speaker, you can check your location, see about the connection. But I would like you to now kindly let us know a little bit about AUCCW, what we are looking at, as we just very, very briefly, Dr. Yutman, as we welcome our chief guests.
Asante sana. Hopefully, joining from this device, it is more audible than a couple of minutes ago, and apologies for that connection challenge. So I was briefly just giving a highlights about today's meeting. This is the virtual launch for a conference and climate week that ACOFI and KU are co-hosting in 2 months. So today is June 9th, the first official day of the climate week is exactly in 2 months, August 9th. That will be a Sunday. And we will do a community launch of AUCCW that will be in celebration of World Day of Indigenous Peoples, which is celebrated globally on August 9th. So AUCCW, it is an acronym that stands for African Universities and Communities Climate Week. The flagship academic event of AUCCW is an international scientific conference that is called Hearts for Climate. So another acronym, Hearts standing for Health and Environment in Africa, Research, Translations, and Solutions for Climate. So we will have more detailed discussions and a deeper dive into the contents, what is happening exactly, where it will happen, when it will happen, and how you can plug in. So looking forward to an active discussion today, and thank you all again for joining.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Yutman. And I think at this juncture, I will take the honor of inviting our chief guest, who is doing a lot of great work in conservation and beyond. And I would like to just say in a few words, I would really like to give our chief guest a chance to just say a teeny tiny bit about herself, and then we will post about her and the work that she does. But in the meantime, I would like you to join me in welcoming Dr. Evelyn Wemali. Oh, okay. I got word that our chief guest, before you come in, I understand that Dr. Dunda is now on board. And before we continue, I would like to ask Dr. Yutman to please welcome Dr. Dunda so that Dr. Dunda can say a word, and then Dr. Dunda can invite our chief guest. So Dr. Yutman, please.
Asante sana, Madam Chair. So I want to invite Dr. Dunda as the co-chair of the AUCCW and Hearts for Climate on behalf of the KU team. And he will do a few welcoming remarks before we proceed with Dr. Wemali's presentation. Karibu sana, welcome, Dr.
Thank you, Doc, and good evening, colleagues.
Good evening.
Yeah, distinguished guests, partners from Kenyatta University, colleagues from Coffee, dear students, community leaders, and all friends who are joining this virtual meeting today. Thank you so much for being with us. It's a great honor to join you on this virtual platform as we officially launch this AUCCW 2026 under the powerful theme earlier outlined by Dr. Nathan, One Health for One Planet. Of course, we all know that the health of our people, our animals, our plants, and our shared environment are deeply interconnected. And so today's environmental challenge, right from climate change, biodiversity loss, pollution, and even emerging diseases, do not respect borders. And so we definitely required to think and act differently. And as we launch this important event today, which brings us together, of course, as universities and communities to explore how we can be able to co-create real solutions. Universities bring research, evidence, and innovations, but also communities are going to bring lived experiences, traditional knowledge, and also acting a lot on the ground. And so when we join these forces together, transformation is bound to become possible. And so I'm very happy to be with you in this important event. We hope to learn a lot from our keynote speaker, Dr. Wemali, who has been in this field for a long period of time and contributed immensely to the growth of the field. Thank you very much.
Asante sana Daktari. And now over to you, Dr. Wemali.
Thank you, Madam President. I'm trying to share my screen. I'll just be there in a few seconds, maybe.
That's quite in order, Daktari.
Are you able to see my screen?
Yes, it's just come on. Now
Yes, we can see
you
it.
can just zoom it out or magnify it.
Okay. So, colleagues, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, depending on where you are getting us from. Indeed, it's my great pleasure, particularly for us as a RCE Greater Nairobi, to be associated with this landmark conference and to have you join at this launch. It is my pleasure to seek your indulgence in this conversation on From Knowledge to Action, Advancing Health, Planetary Health, and Climate Solutions through co-creation of knowledge. I am Evelyn Wemali, work at Kenyatta University, and at the moment I'm the coordinator of Regional Center of Expertise for Greater Nairobi. I acknowledge you and appreciate you as a researcher, as a policymaker, as an innovator, as a community leader, as a a development partner, and as a change maker in whichever space that you are in, that you play a vital role in driving the knowledge partnerships and actions needed to build resilient and sustainable communities. I therefore seek your indulgence as we journey together in discussing this, what I have given a title as From Knowledge to Action, Advancing Health, Planetary Health, and Climate Solutions through the creation of knowledge. My outline is as shown. We'll talk about current challenges and opportunities in Africa, importance of collaboration, key pillars of climate action, role of universities in sustainability, co-creation of knowledge and solutions, pathways to planetary health action, and then just talk a bit about the conference and the call to action. As I've mentioned, I'm an environmental educator in the Department of Environmental Sciences and Education here at Kenyatta University, in addition to being the RCE coordinator for Greater Nairobi. Friends, I would want us to begin by looking at the various critical crossroads at which Africa is in at the moment. One, there's rapid urbanization, climate change, biodiversity loss, and persistent challenges, human challenges that actually converge simultaneously. From the Sustainable Development Goals report for Africa, we note that 30% of us in Africa can access safe sanitation access, vis-a-vis 60% of the global average, meaning that 650 millions of us are without basic sanitation. Friends, I'm just trying to give a background of our discussion. And 34% can access clean cooking fuel, 34%, meaning that almost 970 millions rely on biomass, giving us like 400,000 people passing on prematurely every year. And then 400 renewable energy per capita is at 40 watts per capita, vis-a-vis the 480 watts global average. So you can see there is a vast untapped potential. What does that mean in terms of climate and health challenges? We have witnessed that there are floods, there are droughts, and water scarcity. These undermine water quality and sanitation. We also have climate shocks that destabilize food systems and rural livelihoods. Diseases spreading to new areas due to changing ecological conditions, frequent climate emergencies that strain the already stretched health systems. Talk of mental health, which is a major problem and most often is overlooked. And if you follow it, you find that some of it could be a consequence of climate change. And then, as I was looking through the various literature, I noted that 20% of our youth globally are not in education, not in employment, or not even in training, according to ILO report of 2026. So one wonders, where are they and what can they do in this discussion or in this climate action? So the One Health framework recognizes the interconnectedness of human, animal, and environmental health. And when we look at it, looking at my slides there, we are seeing human health, environmental health, and animal health as one health. This one health requires African indigenous knowledge, application of the principles of African indigenous knowledge for us to be able to achieve the one health. So looking at that, therefore, community-led innovations and culturally grounded conservation are usually underrepresented in our mainstream research and policy. And so there is need to bridge urban and rural divides through integrated place-based solutions that are hinged on community-led innovations that are culturally grounded and that I've said that are underrepresented in our mainstream research and policy. So looking at the various problems that I've just tried to highlight, just a few of them, you realize that climate challenges are multidimensional and they affect multiple sectors simultaneously, and that no single institution or sector can address these challenges alone. Therefore, universities, researchers, policymakers, professionals, environmental experts, communities, and the private sector must develop integrated solutions together. And this collaboration will ensure that solutions respond to real community needs and priorities. We therefore need strong partnerships to improve the translation of research into meaningful action. Friends, I note that there are 6 key pillars of climate action in Africa, looking at some of the problems that I've tried to highlight. One of these pillars is about climate and health, whereby we need to bridge climate risks with public health systems. We are looking at sustainable technology. Some of those problems require technology, like clean energy and low-cost innovations and digital tools. I've talked about a percentage of youth that are neither in education nor in training, they're just there. And so we need green jobs, and therefore the economic opportunities in sustainable sectors. Another key pillar of climate action in Africa, we are talking about indigenous knowledge, whereby we'll need to base our various innovations on traditional ecological wisdom and community-led practices, which are embedded in communities. Therefore, we need community-centered action, solutions being co-designed with and led by communities. So we are saying here that maybe for us to transform our Africa or transform our various places, we need community-centered action, whereby projects are not just meant for prepared for communities, but they are prepared with communities. But then to crown all this up, there is need for education for sustainability, a transformative kind of pedagogy that builds eco-citizenship. This will help us maybe transit to a level whereby we are able to respond to climate change issues that we are grappling with in Africa and in our various spaces. What will it take, therefore? And one of the responses to this, I felt it is greening education. In greening education, you're talking about greening the curriculum, having content that is about sustainable development, and pedagogies that build meaning, purpose, and connection across natural, socio, and psychological ecologies. What does it mean to green education? You're talking about system thinking mindset, a recognition that we have biophysical limits. This will embrace multiple interconnected ecologies, which embrace intellectual, social, and natural dimensions. We are talking about valuing indigenous knowledge, indigenous wisdom that teaches how to live well on this finite planet. Because some of our problems are as a result of some of us thinking that our planet is infinite. And yet the truth is that the planet is finite. And therefore we need to integrate indigenous knowledge into mainstream education. Friends, you're talking about transformational pedagogy, one that empowers learners to reduce environmental footprint, replacing overly optimistic teaching with action-oriented approaches. We're talking about place-based learning that puts in place or recognizes local histories and community contexts to provide deeper insight than purely abstract universal knowledge that maybe some of us could be practicing. And then we are thinking about ethics of responsibility, one that fosters responsibility towards the planet's interconnected ecologies, finding creative solutions across the diverse viewpoints. And so then I was asking myself, then what is the role of learning institutions? And maybe in our space here, what's the role of our universities and maybe other learning institutions in enabling that which I've just talked about? And we are saying one of the roles is universities or learning institutions are knowledge creators. They generate research, and this research, we are thinking that maybe should be aligned sustainable development challenges to be able to get us out of the murky situation that probably we have found ourselves in. Institutions are role models of sustainability in terms of operations and governance. It's also a place where researchers, community, government, and industry would meet so that we can have solutions to the problems that are bedeviling humanity. Universities, we see them as change agent hubs, spaces for students and faculty to explore and lead sustainability. We are looking at the universities and other learning institutions as eco-citizen builders, places that should prepare active, healthier eco-citizens to address planetary challenges. We are looking at universities and other learning institutions as knowledge gatekeepers, where knowledge creation is done to prepare students as agents of change. And so when we look at learning institutions with that kind of lens, then we are saying that let us co-create solutions. How do you co-create solutions? We will need communities, we will need universities and other learning institutions to be able to co-create solutions for climate action. Communities will give us the local and indigenous knowledge, will help us build community networks and trust so that the projects that are, or the innovations that we come up with will be more resilient. Communities will give us real-world problem identification, and then apart from also giving us the cultural context and the values. What about universities? They are we have research expertise and data provision, scientific analysis and methodology, innovation and technology, publication and policy translation. So when the two entities come together, we are able to co-create knowledge. And what is the outcome? We'll have scientifically sound, culturally appropriate, and sustainable solutions to the various problems that I highlighted when I began this presentation. Somebody may ask, then what are the pathways that could reach us to that kind of destination? We are saying that let us have participatory research where communities are seen as equal research partners in identification of problems, designing studies, collecting data, and interpreting the findings, so that they can own the findings because the community was involved right from the beginning. I've given some examples there, like mapping environmental health risks that are as a result of climate change, assessing climate and livelihood impacts. These are just some of the examples that I tried to bring forth. Another pathway is having living labs, citizen science, and service learning. These living labs and innovation hubs could be centered in the communities, could be housed in communities, where we can have demos like climate smart agriculture demonstration sites in the community, renewable energy pilot projects, community-based waste management, and nature-based flood control solutions. We are talking about another pathway of citizen science programs, whereby the community members are involved in activities such as biodiversity monitoring, air quality measurement, disease surveillance, and water resource monitoring. This will help build local capacity and increase data availability that is required in co-creating solutions. Another pathway is service learning and co-designed technologies. Technologies like health promotions and environmental restoration, solar-powered health facilities, among others. This will help our students to gain experience and communities to gain support. And so, friends, as we are here to launch this conference, on African University and Community Climate Week Conference 2026, African universities and communities, we are having two core challenges. Generating research that is aligned to solving sustainable development challenges and translating those findings into practical actions, policies, technologies, and community interventions. And indeed, from the design of the conference, we are having a track. We shall be having research papers track and community expo and summit. This, it is designed in a way to enable us co-create knowledge that will help us to be able to respond to the various climate change challenges that we are grappling with. And so, call to action, we are saying that let us use this conference not only as a platform for dialogue, but as a catalyst for action to translate knowledge into meaningful change for our communities. And so the call for abstract, some of us may have seen it or we have not have seen it, but you're saying it is still open. And we invite you to take the space, share your research findings for wider readership and adoption, as you forge new partnerships between research, communities, policymakers, innovators across disciplines and sectors. We are trying, let us champion indigenous knowledge alongside scientific research in every project, publication, and policy intervention. Friends, I believe that together we build a healthier, greener, and more climate-resilient Africa for present and future generations. I want to say thank you. From knowledge to action, advancing health, climate resilience, sustainable development in Africa through co-creation of knowledge. Welcome. I invite questions, comments, and discussion. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Daktari, for that, Dr. Evelyn, for that. And it has been a very insightful presentation. So thank you very much. We can all appreciate her through reacting. When you go to your chat bar, you can also ask the questions, and let's all be part of this conversation. Thank you very much for that. So we can invite any questions to Daktari before we get to the next segment. Anyone with a question can simply raise the hand. So karibuni tena sana, kama uko na swali, tunaomba unaweza raise your hand so that Daktari can take the question. Okay, if there's no question, then we can get to the next segment. Asanteni sana, and thank you very much for all those who are reacting on the chat box. Wakisema such a wonderful presentation from Daktari. Asante sana. So into our next segment, tunaenda kwa the AUCCW 2026 presentation, where we will be told about the program overview by Mr. Mason, together with Dr. Nathaniel and Miss Hillary. But first, ningependa I invite Mr. Mason for this. So karibu tena sana, Mr. Mason, you can take over.
Very many thanks to you, Hassan, for the invite, and greetings to the 77 of us who have been able to join us today, this evening. So a very good evening to those who are joining from maybe the East Africa. A very good morning, a very good afternoon from wherever you're joining from. Before I give an overview, because I think in this session we have, together with myself, we have two other of my colleagues, Dr. Nathaniel and Miss Hillary, who we are going to talk about AUCCW 2025 and the roadmap to AUCCW 2026. And it is important for me to, before I even dive into giving us a brief overview of AUCCW 2025. It is important for me to mention that in Dr. Wemali's presentation, I think she was very articulate, and we all can agree that we are all research, and we need to move to now having a translational, research, a participatory research whereby we are bringing communities, we are bringing the academia, because even AUCCW vision is for us to be able to bridge the gap between local communities, indigenous people, and of course the academia, the government, the UN entities, etc., etc. She has also articulated that in terms of evidence-based, in terms of data, having data-driven, research, and just probably bringing communities that do matter in the discussions, how important that is. So I think we have been able to learn much, and I know we are also going to learn more and more as we progress. So it is now my pleasure to give us a very brief, before I invite Dr. Nathan and Ms. Hillary, to give us a brief introduction of AUCCW 2025. So as it's being, in the chat you can find, we use a lot of acronyms actually. They are normally called kings and queens of acronyms. But AUCCW basically means the African Universities and Communities Climate Week. It was a flagship initiative of ACOFI, and it was conceived as a response to the urgent need for inclusive platforms whereby academia, policymakers, civil society organizations, local and indigenous communities, the governments, the UN entities address the triple planetary crisis of biodiversity loss, climate change, and pollution using the One Health approach. While the concept was actually initiated by ACOFI as part of its vision to reconnect health and environment in Africa and beyond, starting from the community level, the realization of the inaugural AUCCW was made possible through a strategic partnership with a university in Narok, that is Masai Mara University. The institution actually committed, and its leadership and local convening were very integral in bringing this ambitious idea to life and situating it in the heart of the Mau Mara ecosystem or landscape. The first AUCCW was hosted in Narok, as I have mentioned, from the 3rd to the 9th of August 2025, under the theme Uniting for a Healthy Planet for All. And I know Dr. Nathan is going to mention this year's theme, which is One Health for One Planet, leveraging local and indigenous knowledge to unite urban and rural communities for sustainability. So as a core component of the Climate Week, which is AUCCW, because AUCCW actually acts as an umbrella to two main components, core components. And the first one is actually a translational research conference, which we call Hearts for Sea, which is Health and Environment in Africa, Research, Translations, and Solutions for Climate. So this is an international space, and of course a conference that we invite, and I know Dr. Wemali had mentioned, researchers, policymakers, governments, and all other sectors to actually present their papers, because we actually open the call for abstract, And this is basically to, like I mentioned before, to have evidence-based research, data-driven research, and participatory research that brings together the local communities, indigenous people. So the Hearts for Sea is one of the components of the AUCCW. The second component is the community-led activities or initiatives, which I know Dr. Nathan is also going to deep dive into that discussion. And in this, I mean, we have, for example, the Sustainable Technology Showcase, we have a Healthy Food Festival, we have an expo, and we have different kind of summits, which I know Ms. Hillary is going to present. So the objectives of AUCCW is actually to provide a continental platform for dialogue and knowledge exchange on climate health and its development. The second objective is to bridge academia and communities by translating scientific research into grassroots actions. The other objective is to amplify the voices of youth, indigenous peoples, and marginalized groups in shaping climate and health responses. The other one is to strengthen partnerships across universities, governments, civil society, and private sectors across for collaboration. And the other one is to launch a collective commitment. And this I can refer to a declaration we did, which we called it Mau Mara Serengeti One Health Declaration. And so AUCCW is even positioned for us to even talk on the regional level, but also in the continental level, so that we are able to align ourselves in the global discussions, and that we are able to respond to different challenges, even talking about climate and health. And so AUCCW has, or rather Hearts for Sea has different thematic or subtracts that will be mentioned as we progress. And so I just want maybe to mention a few things, or the roadmap, or the activities that actually happened in August of 2025, from the 3rd to the 9th of August. So we started off with, because it is a week-long, activities. We actually started with a walk and actually a bike ride from a place called Motonyi to the university. It's about 7 kilometers. It was very, very lively. We had community members, even, doing the bike ride. And we also had the representation from, Masai Mara University, and the partners who were part of this idea. So on the on 4th, which was actually Monday, we did the official opening of the conference, Hearts for Sea. And I had mentioned that Hearts for Sea has like the poster presentation, the oral presentations, the workshop sessions. And it is very interesting that actually in the workshop session, we had the community representatives, and I can just mention the traditional healers, and also a representation of the midwives, the traditional midwives, even being part or sitting in the panel with, professors, with, the academia representative. So it was very interesting to have that kind of, interactive session, and to just kind of share knowledge between the indigenous knowledge holders, as well as the academia representatives. So we did the conference for about 3 days. And on the fourth day, we did a community, activities. Like I mentioned, AUCCW has two, components, which is arts and community-led activities. And it was very interesting that just talking about the, we call it the mini cultural food festival, which was actually supported by an indigenous led organization that's based in Narok called ILEPA. It came out very interestingly because you could see the showcase of traditional, food from how, for example, we had a bull and how the bull was or used to be slaughtered, the process of, cooking the meat, how the meat is being prepared. So we were walked through that process, and it actually reminded us that indigenous knowledge is for sure something that even as we proceed is, according to my belief, is the next frontier. And actually, I think many people are now really trying to grasp or trying to understand what, our indigeneity and of course our indigenous knowledge, how we are even able to integrate it with the knowledge that is gained from the academia. So that is an overview of AUCCW 2026. Before that, we had build-up activities, which I may not mention all of them. And to just mention, we had several partners like FHRC who really supported. We had the county government of Narok, we had ILEPA, we had BirdLife Africa, we had representative from different universities in Kenya. And so even as we look, and as I look forward to inviting Dr. Nathan to now take us through AUCCW and the roadmap of AUCCW 2026, I take this time to actually invite all of us to be part and parcel of the success of AUCCW 2026, so that we're able to co-create, solutions to different climatic, different health challenges, because as you know, we are all experiencing or feeling the heat of such challenges. So it's now my pleasure to invite Dr. Nathan to take us through AUCCW 2026 overview, building up from AUCCW 2025. And thank you very much for listening to me. Asanteni sana.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mason, for that. But before Nathan comes on, we had a question for Daktari. So I'll read the question. Brian Odhiambo was asking, how can partnership between researchers, community, policymakers, and innovators accelerate climate resilience in Africa? So it was the question was for Dr. Evelyn. So I believe, Daktari, you can answer, then we go to the overview of this year's AUCCW 2026. Thank you.
Thank you, moderator, and I want to appreciate that question. It's a very good question, very, very insightful. I mentioned about participatory research. In participatory research, you require various actors. And why are we doing research, really? We are doing research to solve a problem somewhere. This problem is in the community. So you need the researchers to partner with the community. And whatever solutions that we'll come up with, they should be bound by policy. So we need partnerships with policy so that we work within the policies or that govern that particular sector. So you realize that in research, participatory research, there are various steps that are involved, like problem identification. That's the very first one. So you need to know which problem, and this problem is found somewhere, and this somewhere is a place, and this place is a community. So you partner with the community, but then to identify the problem, because the researcher, you may think you know the problem, but maybe that's just your problem. The community, that may not be their problem. So it will be necessary that researchers partner with communities, and communities with their indigenous knowledge will be able to guide and direct the way the research should be done. So if we partner right from problem identification to solution of the problem, even to development of the tools, because this is research, development of the tools, you are together, working together with all the various people involved. So you will need to map out who are the stakeholders in this. Those stakeholders must be brought on board. Engage them so that they participate in the solution of the problem. When that is done, then you can be sure that whatever project that you are putting in place will be sustainable, even when the project developers or development partner, maybe the project time is over. That kind of partnership will ensure that the project remains sustainable. It lives beyond the project period. I don't know whether I've answered it properly, but I invite others to also weigh in into that question. Back to you, Hassan.
Thank you very much, Dr. Evelyn. So it's an open session. Anyone can weigh in, but I believe it is a very sufficient answer. But it's open for anyone to weigh in. Yes, thank you very much for the answer. Now, allow me to have the pleasure of welcoming Dr. Nathaniel, who is the Executive Director at AUCCW. So, karibu sana daktari.
Asante sana, and thank you to everyone for the interactive discussion. I am working to do the screen sharing, so just please bear with me. Hopefully it will be successfully shared. It's like things are on track. So in the next several minutes, I will run through the basics of AUCCW. Some of this will be repetition from what has been already shared, but hopefully in this concise and condensed format, you will all know what, when, where, how, all of these basics, but more specifically, the theme, the locations, the dates, activities, and opportunities for AUCCW. So my goals for this presentation are to build off of these two key questions. Number one, how can we best synergize and align our objectives? And that is building off of the question that was just shared and Dr. Wimali just answered. So we are here to serve you on behalf of the AUCCW planning team, and we need you for our program to be successful. So we ask you to share your ideas and join us in the respective capacities that we will highlight so that we can know how we can move together to achieve our shared objectives and even our shared dream of a healthy planet for all. So more specifically, the next question is, where might you and your team fit within AUCCW? So the two questions I'm going to answer now, the when and the where. So we're talking about a conference and a climate week. The conference is nested within the climate week, and we're excited about this week, which is exactly 2 months from today. So it runs from Sunday, the 9th of August, to Saturday, the 15th of August. The three locations within the greater Nairobi area are around KU and the surroundings. We are planning to actively and strongly engage with the communities, including through One Health camps, which I'll share a bit more about in a few minutes. Also, the Greater Kikuyu region, we will be there for 2 days, and the Greater Limuru region for 1 day. So 4 days around KU, 3 days in the peri-urban environment, Kikuyu and Limuru. So here is the theme, and building off of the idea that we like acronyms, you can talk about OHOP, OHOP for our overarching theme. That is One Health for One Planet. And here we are very intentionally aligning with important and influential global frameworks that are also increasingly recognized within Kenyan governmental policy and even within the academic sphere. One Health and planetary health, along with climate and health and traditional ecological knowledge. So the longer theme, leveraging local and indigenous knowledge to unite urban and rural communities for sustainable development and climate action. So our research themes and our entire program build off of this one overarching theme. The next is to highlight 2 flagship dates of significance that are recognized globally and that give us great opportunity to have partnerships at the planetary level, even beyond Africa. So the reason we chose this time frame in August is that it enables us to amplify our impact and strengthen relevant communities of practice. So the first day, 2 months from today, is World Day of Indigenous Peoples. And I believe all of you following closely have seen and heard how strongly we are centering Indigenous knowledge and the bearers of Indigenous knowledge, the Indigenous people, talking about language and culture and ways to relate with the land, the animals, etc. The next global date of significance is 3 days later, 2 months and 3 days from today. So that is the 12th of August, which is International Youth Day. And again, talking about our commitments, our priorities to partner at an intergenerational level, to center youth, to center students in these discussions, and to elevate and amplify the solutions and the ideas that youth and students have. So this will be a wonderful opportunity for us, exactly halfway through the 7-day program, to ground ourselves in centering women, students, youth, and children as solutions to the triple planetary crisis. Next, we are going to talk about the 3 primary pillars for AUCCW, giving us a strong base to build on. So we have highlighted the scientific conference, very much grounding ourselves in these research frameworks, these research questions, but with the active intent to translate this research into practice together with the community members and those who are living the experience of climate change, environmental challenges, environmental degradation, etc., day to day. Next is a climate and health community expo. So just like the conference, this is going to be happening around KU, but with the expo, this is a diverse umbrella framework in which we will have quite a few parallel activities happening around where the scientific conference is going to be hosted. The new LCC building in the KU campus is where we will set up shop, and within the lecture halls is where we'll be doing the conference, but in the parking lots and the surrounding fields is where we'll have tents and exhibitions and hopefully a lot of fun dialogue, forums, interactions happening amongst community members for the much more inclusive and accessible community expo that will also be happening these days when we are at KU. The third pillar to mention is the Community Climate and Health Action Days. So these are the 3 days that are happening outside of KU. The first day, Sunday, August 9th, we will be in Kikuyu to celebrate World Day of Indigenous Peoples, Greater Kikuyu, actually a community called Kamango, just on the edge of the Rift Valley. Then the final 2 days, that is Friday and Saturday, the 14th and 15th of August, we will jump again to the community level. The first day, Friday, August 14th, to the Greater Limuru area, and then we will wind up where we started in the Greater Kikuyu community. So I gave a brief overview, and this slide, apologies if it's a bit busy, but this is our active plans for where we will be and when we will be there and what we will be doing. So from day 1 through 7, this is the day-to-day program and our venues. So as already highlighted, day 1 on Sunday, we're going to be doing something we call the Rift Valley Eco Adventure, and also do an Indigenous Knowledge Community Summit in the Kamango community. So that's we're especially excited about, to do the hiking together with community members, traditional people who know about medicinal plants and who have lots of interesting and important stories to share using an intergenerational framework. Days 2 through 5, just to give that preview, are all around KU. So days 2 through 4, Monday through Wednesday, we are doing very similar activities. Basically, the conference and also the expo are happening each of these 3 days. But just to mention again, on day number 4 of the Climate Week and day number 3 at KU is the International Youth Day. So again, we're going to center women, children, and youth as solutions to the triple planetary crisis on that day. Day number 5 is whenever the scientific researchers, the academics, we tell them to exit the lecture halls and to join the community members in the field. This is the day that we call Celebration of Diversity Day. So this is a full day of activities and events that are centered around art, food, culture, and co-creation of solutions. So winding up, day number 6 is the first Community Climate and Health Action Day around the greater Limuru area. So we have plans to promote health and to also have embodied experiences in the field to do events like the Tea and Tree Eco Tour in the tea fields, looking at also the importance of indigenous trees around the Limuru area. Finally, day number 7, Saturday, August 15th, we wind up in the Ondiri, Kamango, Greater Kikuyu region, and have a plan to do a race and ride from the river to the rift that day. More details to come. We're quite excited about that program. So this slide gives some highlights of especially activities that are happening under the umbrella of the Expo. So they also directly align with the 8 conference research themes. So the screen was sharing earlier about the call for abstracts, but just to give a bit of a review, the 8 conference themes are the first 3 basically are aligned with the triple planetary crisis. Number 1, animals and biodiversity. Number 2, conservation and pollution. Number 3, climate. So for those of you following closely, the triple planetary crisis as defined within the UN framework is biodiversity, pollution, and climate. So number 4, we jump to children and youth, but more specifically, we talk about women, children, and youth as solutions to the triple planetary crisis. The 5th theme or sub-theme focuses on health. Number 6, indigenous. Number 7, governance. And number 8, cross-cutting, a catch-all for anyone who doesn't have their research fit neatly within the first 7. So we have the bike race that was also mentioned. We have a plan to do a children's corner so that actually all of our events, whether in the academic setting or in the community setting, are child and family friendly. The Expo mentioned in the center because this is the umbrella framework for all of these events. Then the Tea and Tree Eco Tour, 1 health camps, in which we will go to communities and look at important preventative services or screening services to provide to the community members. Also looking at vaccinations and animal health priorities while doing things in a maximally environmentally sustainable way, and also doing environmental education so that we have each of the 3 pillars of One Health ticked: human, animals, and environment. Then Green Jobs Fair, Sustainable Technology Showcase, Healthy Foods Festival, a Climate and Planetary Health Film Festival, and also Sherehe ya Sayari, or Party for the Planet. And we have each of the team members within ACOFI, together with KU colleagues, are looking to have summits. I don't have that listed here on this slide, but we have a plan to do 6 summits in which we invite expressions of interest about side events or booths or ways to have these summits be a great way to bring these community members together. So maybe one of the ACOFI team members, if you could do a post in the chat about these 6 summits. Basically, it's looking at health, agriculture, and business, in which we have each of those with sustainable summits, bridging or bookending around those 3 words. So Sustainable Health Summit, Sustainable Business Summit, and Sustainable Agriculture Summit. Then number 4 is a CCC Global Summit, that is Children, Climate, and Conservation as those 3 Cs. Then we have the Indigenous Knowledge, Water, and Wetlands Summit. And last but not least, we have the Stewardship and Spirituality Assembly. So this is now where we put it all together. The opportunities for engagement. We have the overall team representing both KU, ACOFI, and partners that we call the Joint Implementation Committee that is organizing, planning, and ultimately implementing this week-long Climate Week program. And so we have also 6 subcommittees, the Scientific Subcommittee, we have the Resource Mobilization Subcommittee, we have Communication Subcommittee, we have Indigenous Knowledge, Culture, and Inclusion Subcommittee, we have Community Engagement, Youth Empowerment, and Health Promotion Subcommittee. Then we have Hospitality and Logistics. So these 5 primary ways for hopefully all audience members to see where you can see yourself fitting within the AUCCW program are to join the planning team through the capacity of those subcommittees, but also volunteers and ushers for the various activities. Those are also opportunities to engage. You can be a conference delegate by presenting your work through the call for abstracts that is open for the next 1 month. You can also be a participant in the expo and the community days. You can engage virtually. We're planning to have very inclusive opportunities so that a lot or relevant content is broadcast, hopefully using maximally inclusive methodologies, including linguistic diversity, also looking at sign language diversity. Then last, we have the sponsor, partner, or media engagement. And we have the email address for AUCCW 2026 listed there. Probably that's already been posted in the chat, along with opportunities to connect through WhatsApp, to follow through the channel in the chat. So those are the relevant opportunities that hopefully all of you can engage moving forward. With that, I want to invite Madam Hillary to follow and continue the discussion. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, Dr. Nathan. A very good, yes, I can see people are applauding Dr. Nathan. A round of applause to him. Yes, thank you so much. My name is Hilary Diana, and I am a member of ACOFI. And whatever I wanted to share, I think Dr. Nathan has gone through it, but I'll just go ahead and highlight to you a little bit in depth. I expected to talk about the summits, and as they have been listed in the charts, this is an opportunity we are or as a representative of your organization to come and co-plan or co-host a summit as per the list that we have given. So for example, Sustainable Agriculture Summit, and I would just like to give you a bit more, tell you a bit more of what it is that we could be expecting, some of the conversations we could be anticipating to have in that summit as a side event. So we could talk about climate smart agriculture, regenerative food systems, could talk about inclusive agricultural policy, nutrition, we talk about agri-tech innovation in, of course, agriculture, soil health and restoration. So as a partner, as an individual, you could be wondering or you could be interested in co-hosting this Sustainable Agriculture Summit. And so those are a few of the areas that we are interested in hearing conversations in. They are not closed off, so the list could be longer. So the other one is Sustainable Health Summit, and we could talk about planetary health, One Health, nutrition, digital health, greening, healthcare, health equity, nutrition, food systems, and such. So if, again, you're an individual or an organization in the health sector and you'd like to co-host or host a summit, a side event, talking about a sustainable health summit, that is your space. The other one is Indigenous Knowledge, Water and Wetlands Summit. So here we'll be very keen to understand about Indigenous knowledge systems in climate adaptation, wetlands restoration, water security, governance and community stewardship, sacred ecosystems and cultural conservation practices, policy influence for inclusive and environmental governance. So again, this is for Indigenous knowledge holders, people interested in Indigenous knowledge and conservation and the linkage between those two. That is your niche. Actually, as I'm speaking, feel free to reach us through the email that has been given or the WhatsApp group that has been shared, so that as I am mentioning this summit, if there's one or two that you think you're interested in, then you can directly join a group within the community that you can be able to engage and get more direction from a coffee and KU leadership, even as we co-create. The other one is Sustainable Business Summit. And here we are keen to have conversations around green economy, ESG leadership, circular economy, net zero pathways and corporate decarbonization, ethical supply chains, innovation, just transitions, and such conversations around sustainable business. Number 5, we are talking about Triple C, and Triple C is actually made up of 3 C's, that is children, climate and conservation. And as Dr. Nathan has mentioned, this summit will be hosted on International Youth Day. So basically the idea behind that is so that at AUCCW we will have a dedicated day for young people to express their solutions. And so some of the themes that we will be talking about that day is youth leadership in climate action, climate literacy, biodiversity conservation and ecosystem restoration, green innovations, intergenerational collaboration and mentorship systems, youth participation in climate policy and governance, gender responsive youth empowerment and climate action, and so much more. So this is a call to young people, youth, or those who are youthful at heart. If you are interested in hosting that Triple C Global Summit, which will mark AUCCW's celebration of International Youth Day, we are very interested to having you on board. Join us so we can co-create that day together. The number 6, I think, which is the last one, is Stewardship and Spirituality Assembly. And here we are basically looking at ethics, spirituality, and conservation. So we are looking at ethical leadership and environmental stewardship, faith-based approaches to climate action, climate justice and moral responsibility, indigenous spirituality and ancestral ecological wisdom, and yes, interfaith collaboration for environmental advocacy. So again, this is a call to churches, mosques, traditionalists. If you are interested to host a session where you get to talk about the role of faith, the role of ethics, the role of the place of belief in climate change, restoration, conservation, that is a platform for you. So I think I am done with my explanation. Please feel free to reach out to us by the WhatsApp group that has been shared, as well as the email that has been shared in the chat. Thank you. Back to you, coordinator. I think it's Hassan. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Diana Hillary. We can all give her a round of applause for that wonderful presentation. And kama mnaona kuna opportunities nyingi sana for all of us all to fit. So do not fail to make sure that you're taking notes so that you can actually be part of this wonderful initiative. So ningependa sana ni wakumbushe kwamba you can in case you have any question you can just simply
All right. So just give me a mic to be sure that you can hear me. I think some bit of technicality on Lewa's side, and as soon as he's back, he will. Okay, awesome. Thank you. So once Lewa is back, he will take over. But yeah, it's been good. Thank you to the team that just shared information about AUCCW, the Climate Week, which includes communities and the conference at KU. So now on to inviting a few other people that will be sharing a little bit more about what's to come. And these are critical people, so keep your ears open. Lewa, are you back by chance?
Yes, yes, I'm back. Yes, I'm back.
All
My
right.
apologies for that.
Okay, go ahead.
So we will be skipping to the conference in Mombasa. Of course kila mtu hapa anajua utamu wa pwani, ladha ya pwani kule kidogo. So the AUCCW will be taking a trip down to the coast na tutakuwa na a wonderful experience kule apart from having to have the conference, but utapata that ladha ya pwani. You'll have a taste of the coastal dishes. You will also have, I'm also from coast, so you will have the best time of your life. Kule kuna chakula cha nazi, wali wa nazi, and many other dishes. So I'll allow Mr. Boniface Lukunza to have a conversation about the Mombasa conference and the updates.
Thank you, Lewa. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, you're loud and clear.
Thank you very much. Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us. Yes, it's a good opportunity that you've created time for us to discuss, or for you to get to hear what we are planning about the Kenyatta University conferences. We have our conference that you've been given more information, and then there's another conference in Mombasa. These are not two conferences in one, Mr. Lewa, but it's another conference that we hope to collaborate with every participants present here and those who are also absent, that you may also share a word with them that other than planning this climate conference, university is also working through Mombasa campus. It's also working towards having another conference that will come before our conference from 10th. So there'll be another one in Mombasa on indigenous knowledge and sustainability. It has a wide range of topics that every participant, if you want to be a delegate, or even if you're a student, you can take part in. It will be happening from 3rd to more on our website. You can go to Kenyatta University website and get more to know more about the Mombasa conference. You can take part as a delegate. You can take part as also, if you're interested, just to gain more.
Mr. Lewa, I don't know if you're there. I cannot hear Mr. Lukunza. I think we might
Yes,
have lost him.
I think we've also
I
lost.
don't know. Can you hear me? Can you hear me,
Yeah,
Mr.
you're now audible.
Lewa?
Yeah, you're now audible, but you are breaking.
Oh, sorry. I was saying sorry for those who didn't get me. On the chat, I have indicated a link to the website for call for papers. You can, if you can access that, you'll also get to know more about the Mombasa conference, which is coming on 3rd to 7th August at the North Coast Beach Hotel. We have participation open to the students, staff, and those who are willing to present papers on indigenous knowledge and sustainability. There are a wide range of topics. I may not be in a position to highlight them here, but when you go to the website, I've shared the link on the chat. You can get more information about the charges. I was saying of critical deadline. We will be having deadline for early birds on at the end of this month. Then we are also calling on partners, just as the same as we are organizing the two conferences as Kenyatta University together with our partners, a coffee. We are actually open to partnership, which if you're interested or if you know a partner or a corporate who wants to exhibit, we have opportunity in terms of exhibitions, corporate exhibitions. We are also having opportunity for financial support and also in kind or material support. In terms of benefits, it's mutual benefits. We will always agree, discuss on potential engagement with any partner. You can support us for both conferences, and that means you will get value in return. Kenyatta University has a bigger population when it comes to students and staff. We believe with a population of over 60,000 students, if you are a partner, you can engage with us and get to know more about our services, and you'll also get to know more about your product through product activations. Another benefit, we have online visibility. We have our social media pages, we have our KUTV, whereby you can collaborate with us and get to enjoy some of those benefits. We'll also be sharing our proposal with potential partners. I believe through our emails, you can write to us, both at this and also for the Mombasa conference. You can write to us and reach out to us through the numbers that have been provided, and we'll be able to discuss and extend that kind of collaboration, not only for now, but also for future. For the Mombasa conference, this will be the inaugural conference taking place for the first time. So feel free to join us and get to learn more. If you have any question, maybe I know there's a session for that, I'll be able to respond. Thank you, Lewa, and you're most welcome. And thank you for listening to me.
Thank you very much, Mr. Boniface Lukunza. Now, let me invite Steve so that he can talk about sponsorship and collaboration opportunities in this AUCCW 2026 conference. Or let's have Bwana Steve Ndichu so that he can talk about that.
Yeah, thank you, Hassan. I hope everyone can hear me, and good evening, everyone. So I am a co-chair of the Resource Mobilization Subcommittee, and today morning we held a meeting between a coffee team and KU, and we were trying to put together the list of potential sponsors, and what we are doing, we are refining the sponsorship package that we can be able to share with them from tomorrow. We did not have enough time to really set out the invitation, and we felt the notice was short from yesterday, and the virtual launch being today. We felt there wasn't adequate time to really set an official invitation for this virtual launch to the potential sponsors before we notify them. So what I can say for now, in case there is any potential sponsor here, is that they should be expecting some communication from us from tomorrow, detailing the various packages we have from platinum, diamond, gold, silver, bronze, and the various sponsorship amounts aligned with each package. There are various benefits for any potential sponsor, from being given a space, a booth space during the conference, opportunity to speak to the delegates, social media mention, event signage. We can also request the MC to be mentioning those corporate sponsors during the conference. So there are lined up benefits that we are going to share with the sponsors, so that they can see what entails, or the kind of benefit they are going to draw from choosing a particular package. So I'll stop there, and unless someone has a question. Back to you, Hassan.
Thank you very much for this. It was very insightful. Now I'll hand over back to Madam President so that she can take over the question and answer section.
Thank you, Lewa. Before we go to the Q&As, I wanted to invite Madam Bansi. If you can hear me, if you can please unmute and also share with the team. Welcome, Madam Bansi Ireri.
Thank you so much, Madam President, for the opportunity that you've given me to make a few remarks. In the Community Engagement Committee, where we are focusing on 3 interconnected pillars for community engagement, which is health, promotion, youth empowerment, and we cannot talk about anything in this space without mentioning sustainability, or without the component of sustainability. So on the health promotion pillar, we are looking at focusing on some issues like health education and awareness, where we can bring in students and faculty from the health sciences departments, public health, nursing, medicine, pharmacy, nutrition, and any related discipline that can organize that can support us in the community outreach on promoting health. And we can have programs like disease prevention and control. Our students and the faculty members can support on that. Things like nutrition and healthy lifestyles, mental health awareness, substance abuse and prevention, hygiene and sanitation, and just to mention but a few. And by empowering the individuals with this knowledge in the communities will become better equipped to make informed decisions about their health. So that's what we intend to do on health promotion, also focusing on community-based research, where we can have universities conducting participatory research that addresses the real community health concerns. We have been told about the scientific call for abstracts, and we can also have such presenters in future, or even during this time, also focusing on the real health concerns that are facing the community, so that we can have researches that ensure solutions are locally relevant, culturally appropriate, and they are more likely to succeed. Still in the health promotion pillar, we can look at the student learning. These students that we can engage, they will be able to apply their classroom knowledge in the real world settings, where they will be talking to the people in the community and applying their skills in real life. And we are also looking at the other pillar, which is youth empowerment. We all know that youth represent one of our greatest assets because they possess a lot of creativity, energy, innovation, and also capacity to drive transformative change. So we really need to empower our youth, and some of the ways that we can empower our youth is through skills development and capacity building. The universities, including Kenyatta University, can provide practical training programs that can equip the youth with the relevant skills. And Kenyatta University has a center for capacity building, so we can mobilize these youths and they get a group package for capacity building with skills such as leadership and governance, entrepreneurship, digital literacy, financial literacy, communication skills, innovation and problem solving. So once we empower these youths,
I realized that I don't have mushrooms and fresh celery and fresh carrots. So I should put the roast back in the freezer. Well, no, I'll put it in the refrigerator so it can still continue to thaw, but slowly. So yeah. Yes, dear. Well, but you.
Sorry for that interruption, Dr. Bansi. You can proceed now.
Okay, sorry, and a correction, I'm not yet a doctor, I'm on the path to becoming one. Thank you. So on the youth empowerment, as I was saying, we can do the skills development and capacity building. We can also do mentorship and career guidance, where the university faculty, students, and alumni serve as mentors to the young people in the communities. And the mentorship helps the youth to build confidence. They set their goals and make informed career choices, and also help them to navigate the challenges in life. And we can also have entrepreneurship and innovation hubs with the students, with the youth in the communities, and also engage them in the various leadership. As we move into the communities, the activities that will be holding there is going to involve the youths to lead in some of those activities. And that pillar is the sustainability. And here we find universities are very important in advancing sustainable development through the education, research, innovation, and community partnerships. And we expect things like environmental education and awareness during our conference times, whether online or in the activities or in any other way. We also can start initiating community-based sustainability projects because we need sustainability. We don't want to have the event, the conference, and once we are done, we are forgotten in the community. And another thing that we can do for sustainability is to do research for sustainable solutions, because universities are well positioned to develop innovative solutions to local sustainability challenges. They can conduct research on areas like climate resilient agriculture, renewable energy technologies, resource efficient systems, environmental monitoring, and others. And most importantly, is that the community should be involved throughout the research process to ensure the solutions are relevant and practical. So we are focusing on those three areas or pillars, and our key principles for the successful community engagement include partnerships. The community should not be viewed as equal, must be viewed as equal partners rather than passive recipients. We also have the principle of inclusivity, where we engage, the engagement effort should focus or involve the diverse groups, including women, youth, persons with disabilities, even the older adults in the communities there, and any other marginalized group within the community. Let's try to involve them as much as possible. As we have talked about sustainability, the program should be designed with long-term impact in mind rather than the short-term interventions. So whatever we are doing towards the conference, let's see how this can be sustained and the impact lasts for long. Then we are also having the principle of evidence-based practice. The decisions that should be should be informed by research, data, and community experiences. When you go to citizen science, these communities, they know a lot of solutions to the problems that they are going through. They only need a collaboration with us at the universities. And then our community engagement should have mutual benefit. So both the universities and the communities should gain value from the partnerships. Whatever we are engaging them with, let's see how the university will benefit at the same time, or the universities that will be involved to benefit, and at the same time, the communities are also benefiting from this partnership. So a call to action is that let us recognize the meaningful change that occurs when knowledge and community experiences come together to solve the real world challenges. So in this issue, let's look at it as collaborative. And in conclusion, the future that we are envisioning is a future that is characterized by healthy communities, empowered young people, and sustainable development, which can only be achieved through collaboration, innovation, and collective action. So let's not align to one side, to either the community or the universities. Let it be very collaborative, and the actions should be collective.
Thank
So
you very
so
much.
for your attention and your commitment to building a strong and more resilient communities.
Thank you very much, and thank you very much for that. Now we will head to the question and answer. So I'll allow Madam President to take over, and because of time, we'll actually pray that we all participate quickly so that we can do this in the shortest time period, because we actually the time is not with us.
Thank you, Mr. Lewa. I don't know if it was just me, but I heard about mushrooms at some point, and now I'm hungry for mushrooms. But that's, I just also want to mention that we will be having agroecology, we'll be having sustainable farming, we'll be talking about food during that conference. So just gear up. And Mr. Lewa, I haven't seen you clapping for me. So I just wanted to see if, like a thumbs up or something like that. It's been a while. I keep seeing some loves and shares, but, just some gaps here. Anyways, yeah, thanks for the love, everyone. So, Mr. Lewa, I was gonna see if you could maybe invite Charlene before I do the Q&A, and if you can invite her, she's from Comms, if you can invite her with some, some Kwaniism, as you like to do it. Over to you, Mr. Lewa.
Asante sana Madam President. Sasa ningeomba nyote mniunge katika kumkaribisha Charlene aweze kutuambia mawili matatu. Na karibu sana Charlene.
Thank you so much, Mr. Lewa. My name is Charlene Wajiru from the website and online communications Kenyatta University. And I'd love to thank you all for attending this virtual launch. And as everyone before me has stated, AUCCW is more than a movement. It's a bold Pan-African platform where researchers, universities, communities, and young leaders are coming together to have meaningful conversations around climate, culture, and collective sustainable future. So without taking much time, I would love to invite young people especially those with communication backgrounds, to volunteer in positioning AUCCW as the best platform and one of its kind, to also increase engagement and visibility. So there are WhatsApp groups that are circulating in the chat. You can join those groups. And also, as Dr. Nathan and Hilary said, we have different groups that you can join depending on your prowess and expertise. Finally, I want to urge you to follow the social media platforms for those of KU and a coffee for updates. Yes. The final thing is I want to invite every one of us to be part of something big and greater than one conversation, one individual, and one country at any given time. Asanteni sana.
Thank you so much,
Karibu.
Charlene. Yes, Lewa, let's do this. Let's do this. Karibu, Lewa.
Yeah, asante sana Shalin for that, and it is an opportunity for everyone. And mmeona kuna young people on board pia. We have professors, we have professionals na at the team from Coffee, and everyone. There's a lot of opportunities for you. So I feel like we are in the energy of question and answer. So Madam President, you can take over so that wanze kuongea pia, because I feel like they have listened. Now they can actually talk and ask questions.
All right, awesome. Thank you, Mr. Lewa. And as you have said, now is time for questions. So please feel free to raise your hands. We have a team, we have a whole team that's looking out for your hands, actually. So lift up your hand. If you don't know how to lift up your hand, it's okay, because we're living in all worlds. You can put in a chat message so that we can answer any questions related to this Climate Week and conference that we're so looking forward to. So yeah, just feel free to ask. So I think we'll just give it a little time, and team, please help me to look out for any hands out there. And if there are none, then we'll just move on to the next thing as we are now approaching closure.
There's a hand, a Nightingale.
Thank you. Yes, please go ahead. It says Zoom user.
Good evening, colleagues. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can very well.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, no, thank you. My name is Anthony Philip Williams. I'm from the indigenous people, from the San and the Khoi people in South Africa. So I love the initiative. I think it's absolutely, it's an amazing initiative. The only, the observation is that I wanted to know, was there any consideration of, even if not perhaps this year, but if there's any consideration with collaborating with universities, you know, throughout the continent? Because when I heard tonight, I heard a very dominant KU conversation, which is a very exciting conversation. So the question is, if we are focusing on a Pan-African university approach, perhaps should we not also have included some, even if it's a future focus, on collaboration with universities across the continent of Africa? Maybe somebody could just enlighten me. Maybe I missed that part. Thank you, colleagues.
Thank you, Anthony, for for looking ahead and for being bold enough to talk about the future. So yes, I agree with you that we have been talking a lot about KU. And this is in Kenya. And the truth is that last year, I don't know if you were here, but last year we hosted another conference with Masai Mara University, which is also in Kenya. And just to very briefly say that the goal was to first do it and do it fairly well. And then the next conference is going outside of Kenya. And so this is a very good timing, I would say. And if you don't mind sharing your contact information or anything like that, if you would like to move forward this conversation, because as we advance towards this conference and climate week coming up, we'll be talking about where are we going next. And so it's very important for us to start having conversations, like you said, with the future hosts of this conference. So I don't know if that helps a little bit. And I can also invite anyone else who might want to add. Maybe Nathan, do you want to say something?
Yeah, thanks, Knight, and thank you very much, Anthony. Our name, the African Universities and Communities Climate Week, we actually have a longer term dream that this can be something that goes global. But first, we need to be sure we are doing it well within Africa. And that is why we have intentionally aligned with these relevant global dates, Youth Day, Indigenous Peoples Day. And we strongly believe that in the very near future, this can be a truly Pan-African platform in which we use frameworks like One Health, Planetary Health, Climate and Health, but also traditional ecological knowledge, indigenous knowledge systems to elevate the community members, the indigenous wisdom bearers, to be at the table and even to be centered in the discussions and give credit where credit is due. Also, using communication, social media, digital tools creatively, effectively, this can be something that even if someone is not present, where the flagship conference or climate week that is envisioned to rotate to different universities and countries within Africa on an annual basis, we can still have people coming together, sharing ideas, sharing best practices. And the long-term goal is for a structure that we're calling AUCCN Plus. So that's African Universities and Communities Climate Network. And the plus is to indicate it doesn't have to be only Africa. It doesn't have to be only climate, and it doesn't have to only be universities and communities. Indeed, using those three, it is global, beyond just Africa. It is conservation and pollution and biodiversity, all of the environmental issues beyond just climate. And it's also the diverse stakeholders representing governments, the private sector, and even talking about civil society in addition to universities and communities. So that is our long-term vision. We thank you very much for challenging us, and we invite you to walk this journey with us to ensure that we include all of the relevant stakeholders within the continent and even beyond. Thank you.
All right. Yeah. So thank you again for that input. I want to see if we have anybody else, anything else from someone. Any questions, any comments before we move towards closing? All right, we have Mr. Daniel Jenga. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Wakigera, for that opportunity. So mine is just to thank everyone who has presented, and it was very insightful. And maybe just what I didn't maybe get from the presenters is the role of AI, because now we are in a technological era. How can AI be used, for example, to advance One Health, planetary health, and climate solutions in this era? And so that is my comment. And maybe if there's anyone maybe who can explain a little bit about how AI can help in, for example, the Dr. Wemali's presentation on advancing One Health, planetary health, and climate solution. How can AI be used to help in this context? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Jenga. So I'm going to throw this one at you, Lewa. And if you can't, please find somebody to throw it at. But I feel like you have something to say on this one, Mr. Lewa.
Okay, thank you very much for this. Because I feel like I've had this conversation mongia sana. Maybe allow someone who has not talked to give this opportunity to someone else who has not talked. Ndio wapate kuongea. So I'll throw it to Emmanuel Kutosi.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, thank you. And thank you, Hassan, for the opportunity to handle this question, particularly with AI being something that is active and progressive within our society and also in Kenya as a whole. So, if I'm looking at how AI is going to impact these discussions, particularly that are looking at climate action, I'm looking at AI as one because on the basis, the way we are looking at it right now, it's more of the avenue of a lot of information that at one time was not really available to the masses. But right now, this information is able to actually trickle down and be achievable, particularly with the young people being among the demographic that is embracing AI. It also works because when we have been able to go through the various presentations by the various presenters, we've noted the key aspect, particularly noting when you're talking about the triple planetarian crisis, the topic around the youth is something that has been like we are going in and out, and particularly when you're talking about also universities coming in this whole program, it is about the youth, and AI is something that is more or less coming in creating that necessary information that at one time may not have been available. So however much we are moving around the universities aspects and the institutions of higher learning, at the same time, even the youth who are not able to access such institutions, which is quite a number across Africa, are also able to get this data because at least AI is opening that channel. And also it's also working to help us to be able to come up with various resolutions, helping us even in research because somehow it is helping us to shorten the distance and the time that would be required, particularly to come up with the resolutions that can be impactful in being able to answer the necessary questions that need answers, particularly on this topic. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Bwana Kutosi, for that. I had to give Kutosi this opportunity because Kutosi is the host of at KU Television program that is called Earth Check. So he deals with matters environment and is more up to date on matters AI because he's a journalist, and I think he was the best person to answer that question. Thank you very much. Back to you, Madam President.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Kutosi. Thank you. So I see another hand from Mr. Okeo Fred. Mr. Okeo, welcome. Welcome. Just see there should be a button. Just unmute. And maybe as we wait for Mr. Okeo, I want to check with you, Mr. Daniel Jenga. Did you have one other? Is that a second hand?
Am I audible now?
Oh,
No,
yeah,
no,
yeah. Yes, you are
No,
audible.
Thank you.
Mr.
No, I
Okeo.
just wanted to add on the role of AI in enhancing One Planet because AI is one quick center for innovation, especially for our youth. And through it, you can integrate these three levels that we are looking into to enhance One Health and quickly give solution to your community. Initially, you could not be able to integrate different sources of information and data, but currently with AI and innovation, you can easily, quickly develop scripts or code that then can be able to integrate. You can look, assess the what is the animal health where you are, what is the plant health where you are, what is the environmental health where you are, and can quickly give indicators to the communities there. And with that, you can now help in directing targeted solution to those areas without doing what we often call blanketed intervention. With this, you can give direct what do you need to solve in this particular area. Is it a problem of environmental conservation? Is it a problem of maybe animal health that we need to solve? So with AI, because you can easily pull, as been directed earlier, you can easily pull different and massive data sources or data information, and you integrate with these other three or other two levels of information and create one directed source of solution. That was my end. I'm Keo Fred from Kenyatta University, Department of Environmental Science and Education. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Okeo. I totally agree with you. I just totally agree with you, and especially when looking at these outbreaks that we're experiencing, the Ebola situation and other zoonotic diseases that are coming up. I agree that AI can greatly help. So thanks again. I want to see we are now moving on to closure. So I just wanted to give one last chance to see if there's somebody else who has something to say before we move towards closing. So I'll just pause for a little bit. All right, I think that's enough time. Mr. Lewa, you give me a thumbs up for me to move on to the next one, and I will hand over to the next person who will close for us.
Yes, I think we can go ahead to the closing part. Yes.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you for being my co-moderator. I have thoroughly enjoyed this, and I'm going to now hand over to Dr. Youthman, who will walk us towards closing.
Thank you to our able moderators. I have a visual image. I'm going to request Knight, if you can assist me, please put this on there. It's about AI within another AI. So ancestral intelligence, let me maybe just work on that. Just linking traditional ecological knowledge and what is commonly known as AI in the dominant discourse, which is artificial intelligence. And so what we are trying to see about is the way to be sustainable in the way that we are linking both the past and the present and the future. So I'm just going to share the screen so that that idea is clear, and also look ahead to a little less than 1 month from today, call it 4 weeks from today, on Tuesday, the 7th of July. That is World Kiswahili Day. So we are planning to do the second launch of AUCCW, in which we are going to celebrate World Kiswahili Day and talk about the importance of translating these One Health, planetary health, and climate and health challenges using indigenous African languages. So to highlight the way that we are talking about linking the past and the present, I'm just going to do a quick screen share of this image that hopefully showcases the way that we need to nest artificial intelligence, including its strengths and weaknesses, certainly on the side of footprint, both water and energy. It is a giant footprint. So we need to ensure that we ground modern day, present day, and even future oriented technology like AI with artificial intelligence within ancestral intelligence. So in this image, I appreciate how much we have the older generations, our ancestors, both human and non-human, that we are grateful for the sacrifices that they have made, for the steps that they have taken to make it possible for us to be here today. So we are going to continue moving. We hope that you have learned something and also internalized some of where you see yourself featuring in AUCCW. And we have the different links that have been shared, but we welcome you to reach out to us with your ideas, with your feedback, even with any criticism of things that you think that we need to do better to achieve our ambitious aspirations, to have a dynamic and impactful community of practice that is essentially building bridges between these artificially disconnected areas of health and environment. For indeed, we cannot be healthy as people if we are spoiling our one shared home on planet Earth. So again, we invite you to keep following, to keep engaging. 4 weeks from today, please mark it on the calendar, World Kiswahili Day. We're going to do the virtual celebration and also in-person celebrations around various sites within Kenya. Then exactly 2 months from today, we're going to launch the program within Kenya around the greater Nairobi area. But Mr. Anthony, anyone else joining from outside of Kenya, we welcome you to work with us as we look to have a virtual celebration of World Day of Indigenous Peoples and have that be a effective grounding of the discourse, the solutions and innovations that are going to be emerging from our week-long discussions, both in the academic space and in the community space. We want to be intentional about continuing to link even more strongly at the Pan-African and even global space. So those are a few next steps, but just to wind it up, I want to maybe hear from Mr. Lewa again, because on the KU TV side, I think we have a great opportunity to celebrate the World Kiswahili Day, and from today onward, to look at how we can maximally leverage AI, other technologies to reach the widest possible audience and ensure that we are moving together as members of one human family within one community of life on one shared home of planet Earth. With that, I will wind up and invite the co-hosts to take us home. Asanteni sana. Thank you all.
Thank you very much for that, Dr. Nathaniel. And I hope we've all had an exciting session, an exciting launch. By the way, we are inviting you to the World Kiswahili Day on July 7th. So as you go back home, as you stay home, I know you're already home, most of you. Well, we know that you already have an invitation to World Kiswahili Day. So karibuni tena sana, and thank you very much for being a wonderful people, wonderful guests, and wonderful Africans for attending this session. So from our side, we thank you very much, and we invite you once again to be part of the African University Community Climate Week 2026. So I'll get it back to Madam President so that she can close it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Lewa. Again and again, and I want to see if I'm able to give you, I wanted to give you a clap. I wanted to give you some love, but I'm thinking maybe I'll dedicate this song to you as we close, and I hope it'll be good. And for everybody who attended, for Dr. Wemali, who was our chief guest, for the co-chairs, we are really grateful, and to the entire team. See you again soon. We are moving on now to Swahili Day, 7th of July, and we are all excited. So now enjoy this with me as you go. This is for you, Mr. Leo.
Ure mwapapati kama hasidi na wazushinyie, hizo zenu eka mimi hazinikondeshimie, majungu mnayopika yanapita kama moshinyie, mimi nimekamilika kwangu ni hamnitoshinyie, naringia fungu langu alilonipa mananimie, kama mwaona uchungu pandeni ngazi mkazibenyie, anikera wanikera bure na mie sio levo yako nasema nanikera bure wanikera bure na mie sio levo yako nasema.
Name of the song.
Thank you.
All right, so now we are done, and everyone is welcome to check out. Thank you so much.
Gato kwenye beat. Barno barnengi ya madoma disiba kunoto no nagi yorwa gagi ngai naino nigi njoda lino madashama o menyendi do da mayana yangana loto toino o kusala ndana baja anadi do beya tu matirigo endi ni kujore daraye madisiba kunoto no amubari aidwana bari na bari no de isere ashenga ya igitagalaka anadi do beya da inga nagi yorwa gagi ngai nano nigi njoda uno matashama nagi yorwa gagi ngai nano nigi nyiga gida wai matashama nagi yorwa gagi ngai nano nigi njoda uno matashama nagi yorwa gagi ngai nano nigi njoda uno matashama matashama nigi njoda uno matashama matashama nigi njoda uno matashama naidana do bolunja manai amugoro dudana njanu enesha sigolanga ya idonogo noguda giyo rubili baba iswa giyo nguda